For once, I could breathe. Before long, I realized I had my own ultimatum to stick to. I'd only open the door to them again if they could acknowledge and respect my boundaries. Until then, the door was firmly closed. Update 2. About a week after the Thanksgiving fallout, an email arrived in my inbox with the subject line, family discussion. It was from my parents, and they'd CT pretty much everyone, the whole family list. In the email, my mom went on about how Thanksgiving had gone off the rails, and while no one was completely innocent, it was clear she was hinting that my walking out had been the catalyst. She wrote that they wanted to have a family discussion to smooth things over, adding a few lines about how everyone had learned a lot from this and wanted to make changes. They promised that, if I agreed to meet, everyone would be better and try to respect my boundaries. It felt a little too scripted, like she'd read a book on conflict resolution, and was now trying to play the part. My first instinct was to ignore it, but I hesitated. They'd already started throwing around promises of change, and I was curious, even if skeptical. I replied, saying I'd be open to meeting on the condition that we met somewhere neutral, not their house, not mine. I chose a small cafe in town where I knew they'd feel out of place enough to avoid causing a scene. After a few back and forths, they reluctantly agreed, even if they clearly weren't thrilled about the location. On the day of the meeting, I arrived first, choosing a booth in the back corner. When they walked in, I could tell right away they were uncomfortable. My parents looked around, shifting in place as they took in the casual setup. My mom shot me a tight smile, and they slid into the booth opposite me, my brother and sister filling in beside them. The air felt thick with tension, and no one seemed eager to start. My mom cleared her throat and launched into a carefully rehearsed apology. Her voice was soft, and she kept dabbing her eyes as she spoke, saying things like it was never my intention to hurt you and I just want us to be close again. The apology felt shallow, though. It was all about how she felt, how she missed me. There was no acknowledgement of the pressure they'd put on me, or of the way they'd crossed lines. I nodded along, waiting to see if she'd address any of the real issues. She didn't. My dad, on the other hand, looked at me and sighed, saying that maybe they could try to be more understanding if it meant keeping the family together. His tone was begrudging, and it was obvious he didn't fully believe his own words. Still, it was something, and I kept my face neutral, waiting to see what else they had to offer. Then my sister Jessica chimed in, her voice dripping with that same passive aggressiveness I'd come to expect. She said that, while she understood my desire for space, I needed to be more flexible if we were ever going to move forward. Flexible, as in go back to the same dynamic where I stayed silent and let everyone else walk all over me. I kept my mouth shut, letting her finish, but I could feel the frustration building. Just as I thought they might at least try to meet me halfway, my brother spoke up. He shrugged, saying that the entire situation had been blown out of proportion and that I was too sensitive about everything.